Hello, welcome. So today we are in r/Best of Redditor updates again, and today the boyfriend does something absolutely disgustingly spiteful. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, get comfortable, like, subscribe, and enjoy. So this one was put together by Direct Caterpillar 77, and it says, "My 28F boyfriend 30M erased the whiteboard I had my novel timeline on." And I'm going to assume here that there was quite a lot of work that had been put into that. So it was originally posted on August 2nd, 2017. I have been working on a novel for about a year. I write every day, even just a sentence. 6 months ago, my college switched to smartboards and put all their whiteboards in the garbage. I grabbed two because I have a huge wall space in my living room. Most of my writing is done on my Google Drive, but I have things like character personalities, names, places, a general timeline, etc. You know, stuff I want to remember. I used to take photos of it so I had my ideas with me. I used to write on my lunch break. I stopped doing that because I burn myself out and my writing quality takes a huge dive. Plus, my boyfriend helps me write and it helps us connect in such a deep way, so I haven't taken a photo in about 3 months. The whiteboards are nice because I can read my notes across the room while I'm sitting in my favourite chair. I got home last night and all my stuff was erased. It was all train of thought, like I'd come home and jot something down. Handwriting is way more cathartic for me. I had sketches of things in the novel. I'd basically have to go through and remember every single thing on it. I have a lot of it stored in my head or on my Google Drive, but there are some things I'll never get back. But it's the fact he erased it. We don't live together. He told me I've been focusing too much time on it and have no time for him. We hang out at my house 5-6 nights a week. I write while he plays video games. It's a good dynamic, and I thought we enjoyed it. We are always laughing, and he helps me with my wording, and I Google stuff to help him in his game. This is the first time he's mentioned it bothering him. If he had brought it up, we could have talked about it, but he went nuclear, and I have no idea why. I think I can tell you why. I think he's just playing a little power move, a little manipulation, you know? I really don't think this is anything that you've done. I genuinely think he's just having a little brat tantrum and is trying to manipulate you and just be a complete arse because there's no reason for it. He has not communicated with you before taking this action that there is a problem. If he was actually serious that there was an issue and he wanted to resolve it, he would have tried to communicate with you first. I don't know what to do. I'm so frustrated. We had one serious argument over his driving. He got better. My family took him on vacation a few weeks ago. We watch his nephew all the time. His family paid for my entire spring semester. We are so much a part of each other's lives, and I feel so hurt and heartbroken. He's my muse, and just the other day we went to the jewelry store to look at rings. My feelings rotate between rage and sadness, confusion, sorrow, anger, everything. It really does feel like a power play. It feels like he feels now he's got you in his grasp, and now the true colours are starting to show, and he's going to start to do things to try and control you and how you spend your day. This is not good. This is a red flag. Definitely not one to be ignored either. How do I even approach this? Last night I was so upset I asked him to leave. He hasn't texted. He hasn't called. He hasn't stopped by. I keep typing in questions to ask, but I keep erasing them. Why did you do it? Are you unhappy with our relationship? What did I do? You didn't do anything. He's being a knob. I'm even more heartbroken due to the fact that he hasn't called or texted all day. I'm afraid to call him. I don't want to hear him say he thinks we should break up, or he doesn't want to be with me when I'm writing, or just ignore my call. TLDR, boyfriend erased the whiteboard I use for my novel writing. He hasn't contacted me at all since it happened. I'm totally lost and heartbroken and angry. How do I possibly handle this? I have a suggestion. Break up with him. And then in the top comments, 4Beats said, "Holy crap, as a fellow writer, I'd be livid if I were you. This is the first time he's mentioned it bothering him. If this is true, and he jumped straight to sabotage, this is effed up. It's messed up regardless, because I'm sure your boyfriend knows how important this work is for you. Like, for him to try not to talk to you about this after 3 years is mind-boggling. Who does this? Text him the dreaded 'we need to talk' message, ask him when he's available, and have him come over to use his words like a goddamn adult. Also, take his key away or change your locks if you don't want to be that upfront about it. He lost his privileges. To be honest, though, in all sincerity, I don't know if this is something I could move past. It comes off as cruel. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he chose to go in your home when you weren't there because he knew he was doing something wrong. He either knows is effed up or he feels as though he's in the right, and that's why he hasn't reached out to you. Either way, I'd say he's absolutely awful. I'm shocked and appalled on your behalf, OP. Yeah, this is just so wrong. So wrong. And then relevant comments that were left on the original post. The Darkest Beer says, this was an unbelievably effed up way to deal with those feelings. I hate your boyfriend right now. Remember in Little Women when Amy burned Joe's book because Joe wouldn't let her come to the theatre with her? That was pretty messed up, but ultimately, Amy was a child, and she would grow up and be better. Your boyfriend can't do better than the most hated March sister. He's showing you that when he doesn't get his own way, he will punish you and destroy the things you care about. This isn't an isolated incident, it's an important piece of information about his character. If he comes back with a massive apology and a plan for how he's going to deal with his feelings in the future in a non-destructive way, then maybe I'd say it's worth a conversation about continuing this relationship. But yeah, this is the thing. He's gone straight to destroying your things without even saying, first of all, I don't like this, can we change it? So it's not even like it's a case of, oh, he's not getting his own way. He hasn't even articulated what the thing is that he wants in the first place. So he's acting like a complete little brat doing spiteful things because he doesn't like something, but he also wants you to play a guessing game to figure out when he doesn't like something that you're doing. It's so wrong. And then OP replied, I actually haven't read Little Women, but I ordered it for my Kindle. It's just so out the blue. Part of me wonders if there's something going on with him beyond what he said. I don't know. And then this username says, this is really effed up. As another fellow writer, I honestly would have broke down. That's so much work just down the drain because you wanted to get your work completed. It's ridiculous, honestly. If it were me, I'd have a... No, same. I'd have to fist fight the guy after I'd stopped crying over the destroyed work. Literally, the whiteboard would be on his bonce. I can tell you that much for free. Going with what 4beat said, definitely take his key away. There's no doghouse or you can get this back when you earn it back about it. I've personally been in this situation where I've had my old novella notebooks used in a grill fire, and with truth, I never accepted the apologies. The person isn't even a friend to me anymore. That's a horrible thing to do to someone's work. Not saying you should dump him or break ties with him in general. Oh no, not at all. However, I do say that there should be a conversation about the relationship in there somewhere. If he can't handle you being immersed in something you've put years into, something you love, he's not ready to date any type of creator, to be quite honest. It's scary that he honestly thought that destroying anything that looked remotely important was the best thing to do in the situation. But when you regain yourself, try and retrace your steps now that he's hiding from you. Try and rebalance your world building. Some new things might even come out of it. Keep your head up, friend, and hopefully you can pull back some information and crawl back from there. It'll be difficult, but you can do it, OP. Absolutely. And, you know, like this person says, you could always even end up with inspiration for some new characters. Because, yeah, great evil character trope right there. OP then says, he stood there and he seemed so, I don't know, proud, happy, vindicated. What an a-hole. I've had my jaw drop once before in my entire life to the ventriloquist girl who was on America's Got Talent. Lol. I didn't know it was an actual feeling of shock and awe. It did it last night, right before I blanked out and woke up face down on my bed asking him to leave. OP edited the post to say, holy cuss, you guys, I'm absolutely overwhelmed. I'm not even sure what to say. I asked a girlfriend if I could come over and talk, so we're getting some wine and pizza. Sounds like a perfect idea. Update November 8th, 2017, 3 months later. It's been about 3 months since I made my post. This somehow seems like it got really long. The night I made my post, I went to a friend's house and ordered a pizza. We got ice cream and a bottle of wine. She's a straight shooter, takes a neutral approach, and she gives solid relationship advice, so I felt comfortable talking to her about everything. She couldn't figure out why he'd done it. We went over how he and I hung out. how much he seemed to care about me, how we looked into each other's eyes, but it also revealed a lot of hesitation on my part. I'm a positive person and tend to forgive faults or overlook them. I suspect it's some sort of coping method from my childhood. We had some unresolved issues I think he was holding in, but when I'd bring them up, he'd just get kind of salty and go, "It's fine, I don't care anymore." But he'd bring them up in arguments. I didn't realise how toxic it was. The same night, I told him I was coming over the next day to talk about things. I told him I'd be over around 11, and the only thing he texted me was, "Okay," which I didn't respond to. I went over to his house at 11 and he was still asleep. He got upset when I woke him up. It took the wind out of my sails. On a good day, I cry if something upsets me, but I was so angry and heartbroken I couldn't even think. I left without saying a word to him. He didn't follow me. On my way out, I went to the kitchen and took my house key from his keyring. Good, I'm very glad because, to be quite honest, the first absolute mess up that he's done here is he hasn't even bothered to be up and ready to talk when you gave him a time. He's still in bed. He gets angry because you wake him up. He is telling you without telling you exactly how much he respects you. And it clearly is not a lot. It's something that hurts to hear, but it's something that I think people need to hear. When you are in a relationship and they show you these things, they can say what they want, but actions really do speak louder than words. And if you ask somebody if you can talk and it's about basically the future of your relationship and you turn up, you've given them a time and they are still in bed, they are showing you exactly how much they actually cherish your relationship. And by those actions, I would say they don't at all. I drove home in a daze, collected all his things, put them in a box on my porch, and texted him to get them. He said, "What the hell? That's fine. I'll come by later and pick them up." I went out with a few girlfriends, we got day drunk, and had some amazing food. It made me feel better, but when I got home, his things were gone, and I was heartbroken. I never texted him, and he never texted me. I got absolutely no closure, and even though people say closure is bullshit, I've had the hardest time moving on. Honestly, though, closure is a load of rubbish. No, you don't need closure. Closure, it's not a thing. It genuinely isn't. Basically, what closure is, when people say they need closure, is they need answers. And quite frankly, you don't need answers to move on, because never have I ever had the full truth and felt better because I know the full truth. I might feel a bit more vindicated in my actions, but quite often, getting closure in air quotes does nothing to help you actually move on. Moving on takes time and perseverance and personal improvement. It has nothing to do with closure. It's been 3 months and I still cry in the shower sometimes. Even though I broke up with him, I still feel so confused and heartbroken. I never figured out why he did what he did. I likely never will, and I miss his help and companionship. I'd love to come here and say I finished my book, but I haven't written much since. I can't get into my characters' heads anymore. There's a feeling of loneliness and grief that sort of helped me but create a better outline, but I can't write about my characters. The other day, I went into the bookstore to study. I ended up looking at books related to time travel and found one that has thousands of positive reviews. My novel is science fiction, and I've been trying to think of how to incorporate time travel. So, it kind of lined up perfectly. It turns out a lot of my ideas mirror theoretical physics. It's eerie. I've never taken physics or read about it. Suddenly, string theory makes sense, cosmology makes sense. I'm blown away, and it makes me feel so weird that so much of my plot has been studied so in depth. The book has lit a fire under me. Reading more about everything makes me so excited, and it's helped me really flesh out my plot. I can't put it down, and read 20 or so pages last night. I haven't actually made time to sit and read a book for years. I always have a notebook with me now, so I write my ideas down. I haven't written about my characters yet, but my passion is back, and my plot is making more sense. I'm really glad you're finally finding your creative spark again. It's really hard when that gets knocked out of you, so I'm really happy to see that that is coming back. Now, I don't care much about how we broke up. I'm not confused, I sometimes get sad at night or during the day, or if I go out and make prolonged eye contact with a guy. I haven't thought about dating and I'm still too hurt to pursue it, but every day I move on a little bit more. I wanted to thank everyone who gave me advice. I forgot about my post until just now, and when I went back through it and read it, it made me realise how seriously messed up it was. And it gave me closure. Thank you. TLDR, my ex-boyfriend erased my ideas for a book. I broke up with him and haven't heard from him at all. And then Zen Wanderer comments, the way he reacted when woken up at 11 a.m. What the F? And went no contact literally the moment he was cast out and showed there were deeper problems. That and the erasure of the notes is some stupid amount of a-holery. Here, here. And then Mad Pirate Bippy says, she has no idea what bullet she just dodged. He erased the notes after they went ring shopping. A lot of violent Ayers are perfect and lovely till they have you trapped. Marriage, a house together, a baby, once you're tied to them, then they ramp it up. Precisely, and that's why I think there was this sudden change after buying the ring. I think it kind of made in his head the idea that you are now his property, so now he can do whatever he likes. They almost start with a test first, and breaking sentimental or important items of the other person is a huge one. He was about to put a ring on it. So she couldn't get away. Thank God he did this first. Yeah, I definitely think that he was basically testing the waters on what he could get away with. And I'm so glad you finished with him, because clearly he didn't really care about you anyway because of his reactions when you said you wanted to talk and what have you. He just did not give two shites at all. So he wouldn't have been somebody who would treat you right. And the thing is, I know obviously the OP was saying, oh, we had an amazing relationship. We were so close. It was so romantic. We did this together. We did that together. We helped each other. Unfortunately, a lot of people who are walking red flags will be the most nicest, lovely, amazing person at the start, because that's what they do. It's to trap you. It's to reel you in. I always think if someone seems too perfect, if someone seems amazing, then they're probably a complete bloody weirdo under it all, because everyone has off days. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has days where they're not great. And for her to have said that they only ever had one argument in 3 years, red flag, actually. Because even like, not an argument, you don't have to be arguing, but you know, disagreements and all that, it just, yeah, it all seemed a bit too perfect, you know? And call me cynical, but that is a very, very freaky thing to me, because I always think, yep, there is an absolute, just a complete psychopath hidden under there then, isn't there? And on that note, I think we're going to leave it there for today. Hopefully there was some good lessons to be learned there for anyone else in a relationship that looks a little bit like this. I do think these Reddit posts are actually very important to read through. They give you a good insight into things that realistically you might just be tempted to look past in your own life. So it's quite good to have it written out there for you that this is not good, this is a red flag, and here's why, and here's how it turned out. So yeah, I do like reading these ones. Other than that, if you made it to the end, I really do appreciate you. I would appreciate you even more if you liked and subscribed, maybe, so you can find your way back, because I do post every single day. And now I'm going to go and get in a nice hot bath, because it's flaming freezing and there's no way I'm going to get to sleep when my legs are this cold. I hope you have a good rest of your day, whatever you're doing, and goodbye.